Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I know this is the last talk before the party, so it's really, really difficult for you to be here. Um, Today, I will talk to you about tools used by jihadists, cryptography tools used by jihadists. So I'm studying jihadist people from 2011, 2012. So I want, before that, introduce the framework of the analysis. After that, we'll talk about crypto. We'll talk about those tools. So let's start. My name is Julie, I'm from Paris. That explains myself, beautiful is the I am working in security in Paris. I'm a senior auditor in Devotee. And I lived before in Egypt, in Syria, lived the work in Egypt, in Syria, in Tunisia, in Sudan. And I had to study those people during 10 years. So let's start. And also, I want to be about that. I was a speaker in some conferences, and I made the gap. And now I will organize with some friends conference in Paris. CTF is open. Call for paper is open. So welcome. You have to participate, and maybe we'll be invited in Paris in October to make your own talk. Starting point. What does jihad means? That's just to introduce the term before talking about that. Jihad in the Quran, in Arabic, that means the religious duty. So that means war, like we can see every time in newspaper, or jihad is not war. Jihad is a duty for religions, is like to do an effort to be, like to walk on the same way as God. There is 4 ways to do the jihad. By the heart, by the tongue, by the hand, and by the sword. By the heart is charity, is to give something to others. By the tongue is to talk with everybody about religion, to invite others to be in the good way. And by the sword, that's really, really, really old. And now some crazy people think by the sword is doing war. But that's not that. That was not that when the Quran was written. So now they use just this word, jihad, the interpretation of this word to do the war. What term I will use? I will use crypto jihad. It's using encryption to do this jihad. I won't use terrorism. You know, in France we talk about terrorism every day now for everything. Terrorism is a so big word. You can use for lots of situations. And if you see in Wikipedia, there is like more 100 explanation, 100 significations for this word, so that's crazy. I will use wiki terrorism for term. Wiki terrorism is working together, like in Wikipedia, to build, to achieve a terrorist act, like they are doing on social networks, like they are doing creating their tools. We'll say that later. So, let's talk before about crypto, let's talk about how they are on internet. If you look at pro-jihad websites, you can see that there were just a few before 2009. Since 2015, there is lots and lots and lots of websites in so many languages. Most are Arabic. You have lots in English too. Just a few in French language. But what we have to know is the most important websites are every time linked to people on the ground. Every time they support organizations on the ground, and the ground publish there some information. So I made that some important website. One of them is just for women who want to make the jihad. The bigger one, Ansar al-Haq, was really famous forum. Some people were arrested, but they go out. Some of the friends try to create other forums, other platforms. When you stop one of their websites, 5, 10, 100 appears. That's really, really big. First tools for communications without encryption at the beginning were created by the GIMF, sorry. It was a group linked to Al-Qaeda soldiers made by two groups, one on the network, the other about medias. And they create together something really interesting, mixing medias and tools and cryptography. So you put all these people you can find in a social network. You put lots of information in some tool like Gephi, like Twitter, and everything. And, sorry, you arrive to a big population. You can see them with Gephi, in French we say Gephi, links between people from some groups trying to talk together. And what is important, why I'm talking to you about that, that's because you can see some groups in social networks, some different groups, and they are using different tools for cryptography. That's the goal of this talk. I will show you the tools a few after. Every time the people on social network use some tools, and from the tools, you can know in which group they are. Looking in which group they are, you can know which tools they are using. Just since 2 years, Twitter and some anonymous group try to close profiles, but they create every time new profile on social network. Last year, Twitter again said we closed a lot of accounts, but again and again and again they opened. So let's talk about crypto now. So they say that's really, really new. You know, in France, we had a internal affairs ministry. When the first big attack arrived in Paris 2 years ago, he said, okay, now terrorists are using cryptography. We have to ban cryptography from France. Okay, we'll build maybe a wall like Trump and let the cryptography out. No, this is not possible. And they say every time, yes, it's new, this is new. No, this is not new, sorry. In 2001, February 2001, the Sun USA Today, sorry. USA Today was talking about cryptography tools, first cryptography tools, used by jihadists. So this is not new. Cryptography didn't arrive with Signal and Telegram. Oh, sorry. So what do we have? So Bruce is not here because of the beer. He's not jihadist, but I will explain later why he's here. So first tool, which was used, first cryptography tool, which was used from jihadists, that is working again, is Mujahideen Secret Platform. Mujahideen Secret is used since 2007. That was used to transfer data, to transfer big files, and exchange message like sort of email that works with private and public keys. So what do we have? You know, they didn't went to see Snowden revelation to create tools and to use cryptography tools. In 2013, we find some group of people using OTR platform. After Snowden revelation, what we can see is more and more and more mobile phone tools. I think it's not just because of Snowden revelation. I think that's because they wanted to touch more and more people in some countries where people don't have internet at home. They have internet on a mobile phone, like in Africa, like in some Arabic country. So in February 2013, as you can see there, lots of them are using Pidgin on computer. After that, end of the year, we find some group using SMS encryption on Android based on two-fish algorithm. That's why Bruce is on the picture, because he's one of the creators of this algorithm. We never found blowfish. They just, when they created their own tools, they just used two-fish every time. We tried to find an explanation, but never had. In end of 2013, ISIS used pure text encryption using Tor and using some other tools for SMS, for email, using AES and two-fish algorithm in Windows. The application was called Amn al-Mujahid. And beginning of 2014, the Al-Faq Technical Committee, who was linked to the JIEMF movement, used text encryption on Android for SMS using AES and two-fish algorithm too. Sorry. Up. Yeah, sorry. Not in the good way. So more and more smartphone tools since years, because first, it's easy. Second, it's easy to touch new people in some countries where we don't have internet at home, and also that invite new people to participate, to more young people to participate to the events. So after Paris, as I say, they try to close lots of Telegram and Signal accounts. But what is the most important? The most important is you can create some identity card of these people through the tools they are using. There are three sort of groups. First, I will talk about crazy religious people. Second, proof-certified people. And the last one, people who want to use homemade tools. Crazy religious are just, you can sell everything to them. If Allah say yes, they will buy. Proof-certified are just doing like hackers because that is good. If hackers are protected, we will be okay. And the one who make homemade tools are a bit crazy. We'll talk about that. Sorry. So first, crazy religious people. You can find some websites like this where they invite people to import new tools they create, like this one. And the most crazy is to sell that to people. They say, okay, cryptography is changing now. Time pass, and we must live with our time. Technology is changing, so Allah wants you to use that. You can find that in lots and lots of websites. So this group of people can use even bad tools, even not tools with bad code, but they have to be validated by God. Sorry. Proof-certified, that's another group. They use the same tools as us. They use Tor, they use Pidgin, they use Cryptocrat, and Telegram, everything like that, because they say, if that is working for them, that will work for us. We want to be protected from international intelligence. Hackers can do that, so we will do the same work. And also, ISIS invite lots of people to use Tails, to use Tor, and also they published lots of sort of guidebooks to invite people to use HTTPS, to use HTTPS everywhere, to use Tor, to use Orthox, to be protected. No. Yeah. And in those guidebooks, you can find, so that is a translation, you can find lots of funny things like, be careful with geolocalization, because maybe they will bomb us if you publish your geolocalization on Twitter. Be careful about those or these applications. Use this tool to transfer files. Also for storage, also for mail. Use Hushmail, you'll be more protected. Don't use Google. And lots of things like that. That is crazy because now in communication groups, communication team on those groups, you have like people who are sort of teacher to give the knowing of these tools to new people when they arrive, like in Syria or on the ground. And my favorites, people who want homemade tools. So why do they want to develop, to create their own tools? That is funny. They say, okay, we don't want to be looked, we don't want to be known by the intelligence, by the American. Okay, so we decide to create our own tools. But lots of these tools are created using two-fish algorithm. That is funny because when you use two-fish algorithm, you are creating a tool based on a Western algorithm created by Western people. So they don't want to use Western tools, but they create their own tools with a Western algorithm. That is funny. That is the more interesting group because they are communicating a lot, and they are using a lot of those tools. And what we can see is the algorithm is good, but sometimes during the transfer of data and stuff like that, that is not encrypted. So they decided to create their own tools, but they don't have the level to do that. And so they have some problems, some issues with security. That is used a lot with the Al-Farj committee, that is used a lot with ISIS people, more in Iraq, sorry. And what we can see now is they ask more and more people who studied engineering and stuff like that to renew those tools and to create really secure tools. But the difference is people who made high studied don't want to go there. So they have lots of problems to be protected, and that's good for government. Sorry. I think I was really fast, really fast, so that was because of the party after, I think. I speak really fast. So we have a decentralized network, and we have really decentralized network in real life too, because people are everywhere and they are working with them from Europe, from America, using wiki-terrorism, participate more and more. Encryption is not used since a few years, like we think in France, but since long years. Now, encryption increased a lot since 2013, but now that's a bit blocked. Groups are using now every time the same tools since 2 or 3 years. We didn't saw new tools created by them appear, and also they don't communicate so much now on social networks about tools they use. 2 years ago, 1 year ago, they were talking a lot about that on social networks. Use that. I prefer this tool. Here with my band, we're using that. Now, that's less present. That's less see on social networks, maybe because they learned about their mistake. So thank you. I was really fast. If you have some question.